Ford Ecosport diesel joined the Zeegnition long-term fleets about 2 months ago, and since then I've been piloting it around town and have done about 2,200 kilometers on the car so far. It's been a mixed bag of feelings, I have to say, with the car. It is a baby SUV, that's what Ford calls it, but in reality I have to say it works out to be a large hatchback. You've got the nice stance. It's great in the city where you sort of overlook the traffic, but in terms of the overall ride and dynamics, it's very much like what you would find in a high-end hatch. There's a lot going for the EcoSport. The first and foremost being its looks. It's got those quirky, neat lines that very new age, great design. Ford has done an excellent job in bringing out that element of being futuristic. I love the light. The fact that it comes on 16-inch wheels for such a small vehicle, again, a great element about the vehicle. The interiors, nicely fitted, good plastics, seat fabric. The titanium edition comes with leather seats. So you've got a lot going for it in terms of what's good about the EcoSport. In terms of features, the EcoSport does come really kitted out, especially on the top-end titanium variant. You've got a really neat feature called Sync, which is your Bluetooth connectivity to the audio system on the car, and it allows you to do a lot more than just use your phone. It taps into your complete database, so your entire phone book transfers on there. You can then use the voice command to dial people and to talk to people. The signal is really clear, and the voice command works really well even with our Indian accents. That is a really big plus point when you ask me about one of the major features about this car. Apart from that, it's got the run-of-the-mill standard stuff like your power windows, power steering, a great air conditioner. Well, there's not really much missing on a car such as this, especially for the category that's in. And I have to say that Ford has really done a good job giving it all the bells and whistles that one would expect. Our fleet EcoSport happens to be the diesel, powered by a 1.5-liter TDCi engine that churns out 90 PS of power at 3,750 RPM, and it makes a rather decent 204 Newton meters of torque at about 2,000 RPM. What that translates to is great daily drivability. Whether you're in the city or on the highway, that engine performs. It's a nice lightweight diesel, it's peppy, and made it to a nice smooth 5-speed gearbox, which once again allows you to really enjoy what the engine has to offer. As far as the ride and handling of the EcoSport is concerned, the vehicle holds its own. It's got a slightly soft setup, which is great for the city, and considering the fact that it's going to be used mainly by urban commuters, I have to say it does live up to that aspect. It's nice and soft, it's a good plush ride, and it's easy to get around town in. To answer the quintessential of kitna deti hai, our favorite question when it comes to any review of any car, the EcoSport diesel does deliver. On the highway, you can get anywhere between 16 to 17 kilometers per liter. In the city, it does drop down, and in Pune over here, with the AC on and doing rather slow commutes, I have to say, I'm getting about 12.5 to 13 kilometers to the liter, which is decent. I wish it gave me a little more, but it's not something that I would really argue. In terms of what I don't like about the vehicle is that Ford has left out a few features. For example, simple things like the grab rails above the passenger doors. Why aren't they there? You're charging a pretty decent amount for this, and cars even lower down the order come with these features. It's something that Ford should include, considering the way that the dynamics of Indian driving require a lot of shifting and a lot of movement, and those grab rails have always come into use numerous times for a lot of passengers. The other thing is the ride quality. It is an SUV, and I know I've touched upon the subject of it being a soft ride before. I just wished it had a little more suspension travel as well. The reason being that because you think you're in an SUV, you think you can bomb it over some rough patches, but the suspension doesn't really take it. that is something that I think Ford needs to address as well. When it comes to the space of the cabin, now that is a questionable point of view. Well, for me personally, considering the fact that I am 6 feet 2 inches tall, so I get into the driver's seat rather comfortably. There's a lot of space there for me. That seat is nice and plush and wide. Great support as well. But I have to push it all the way back to drive, which means that there's no space in the rear bench for anybody to sit behind. The EcoSport, when it first came in, sort of ushered in this whole new era of being the compact SUV. Yes, other manufacturers have spawned their own variants, but the EcoSport still stands as the vision of what a small, compact commuter SUV should be. And in that sense, it does deliver on all accounts. It's nicely proportioned, it's great for the city, it gives you that presence and that stance. It's got the style factor going with it, and it also has all the little bells and whistles that you want in terms of creature comforts. So there, I think Ford really managed to hit the nail right on top and driven home the point that such a vehicle does have a need in a market such as India. Having said that, other people have spawned their own variants. You've got cheaper variants out there. You've got sedans that come in the same price range. So there's a lot of choice out there. And people who are looking for a little more space might not find the EcoSport to satisfy all their needs because they lose out on that one aspect. Overall, if I have to sum up my 2 months of ownership with the vehicle, I have to say that the EcoSport has grown on me. When it first came to me, I didn't really know what quite to expect. I was just expecting a hatchback on stilts. It's not that, it's a lot more than that. It does live up to being that baby SUV, so to speak. You've got a good amount of road presence. People do move out of your way. Stuff that you find with other SUVs, even slightly larger. And yeah, it's something that I would definitely recommend to people, that if you're looking for something small, quirky and fun, you want a little peppy little vehicle that's good for a little bit of adventure as well, the EcoSport's your car.